Hey guys, what's up? It's Lainey, and today I'm talking about television shows. This is the TV show Tag that was created by Kaylee Hyde. I'm going to be linking her video down below so you guys can check it out. The first question is, what are your favorite TV shows? So I can't start out this answer without saying Buffy. That is like my show. That was the show I grew up with. I was like 12 when the final season aired. I have talked about Buffy on my channel before, but there are two other shows that I have to include that were like very formative when I was growing up. They were my shows. I always watched them. Charmed and The OC. All three of those shows were the reasons why I really like storytelling. They're the reasons why I decided to pursue writing. I mean, I've always liked writing, but creating stories like that and arcs and characters that you really fall in love with, those were the reasons why I wanted to tell my own stories, were because of those shows. Aside from those three, since all those shows are no longer airing, I did want to mention obviously some other shows. I'm a huge fan of Shameless and Game of Thrones. Those two shows are the ones that I'm like currently watching, currently up to date in all the seasons. I actually didn't start watching Game of Thrones until last year, so I'm kind of late to the train. Shameless, I also started watching about 2 years ago, and I'm completely obsessed with it. I love this season specifically. I liked it a lot more than the last season. Season 7, Season 8 is like really good TV. I'm a huge fan of The Royals right now. That is E's scripted show. This video is going to be so long I can already tell. Question number 2 is your favorite genre of TV show. I definitely like a supernatural fantasy aspect. That's definitely the kind of show I gravitate towards. I also really like crime shows. I mean, I'm a huge follower of Special Victims Unit, Law & Order Special Victims Unit. That show's been on forever, and I've seen like every single episode. Question number 3 is your least favorite show. This is kind of hard for me. If I don't like the show, I'll kind of stop. I just will stop watching it. But I am currently buddy watching Shadowhunters with my two friends, Riley and Kenya. I don't really like the show, but we're only watching it just so that we can like discuss it as we're watching it. And I've never read the books, so when it comes to book aspects of the TV show, I have no idea how different things are done. But Kenya has read all of the books, so she kind of lets Riley and I know what's going on while we're watching it. We are buddy watching it, but we haven't watched it in like a month, and I don't feel like, oh, what's going on in Shadowhunters? But I just really do not like that show. I think it all comes down to the acting. The acting in that show is pretty terrible. Question number 4 is your most rewatched show and your favorite show to binge watch. I kind of already mentioned these. I've seen Buffy several times all the way through. Question number 5 is, do you prefer watching things week by week or binge watching? Personally, I like both. It kind of just depends on the television show. Obviously Netflix, when they release their shows, it's all of them in one. I'm fine with that. I'm really fine with binging them. There's pros and cons to watching it week by week as well as binge watching it. Like Game of Thrones this past season, I watched week to week and I was like fine with that, but I also had previously binge watched seasons 1 through 7, which I was also fine with doing. Question number 6 is your favorite television characters. I wrote all of these ones down. The first ones that come to mind, because I'm currently watching The Vampire Diaries, my favorite television characters on that show is definitely Catherine Pierce, Stefan Salvatore, and Klaus Michelson. Perfectly flawed characters. Catherine is just like absolute alpha. I love her. I've loved watching her in this rewatch. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time I've watched like Vampire Diaries seasons 1, 2, and maybe 3, but I just like have really liked her character in this rewatch. Then Klaus, he was like the best villain. I'm forever a Stefan girl. I absolutely hate Damon. I don't know, is there a question that's your least favorite character? Because I will only ever say, no, there's not. My least favorite character in television history is definitely Damon Salvatore, and don't come at me at the comments because there's nothing you can say that will change my opinion. Moving on from The Vampire Diaries, I also have to mention Buffy. Buffy is one of my favorite characters. She was also like a role model for me as I was growing up. Like, I wanted to be her. I wanted to be the Slayer. I also have Piper Hollowell on here. She was also a character that I really wanted to be when I was younger. I wanted to be able to freeze time and blow up things, and I still kind of want to freeze time and blow up things. Then the final character is probably also high-key one of my top 3 characters of all time, and that is going to be Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones. I love Sansa from the very beginning. I love how she has become very crafty in the political world. Loved seeing her arc from these past few seasons. She's amazing. She's my queen in the north. Everybody's fighting for the Iron Throne, but I just really want Sansa to be the one ruling at the end of the series, but I know that's not gonna happen. But that's what I want to happen. Question number 7 is your favorite television ships. And I should preface this by saying that I tend to ship people that I know will not end up together because of ABC, and I know that they should not be ending up together because of XYZ. So I definitely have feelings. I like when I'm like emotionally stressed out about a relationship because I know it won't work out, but those are my favorite ships. They're my favorite. You're gonna see a lot of them on this list. First one being Buffy and Spike. Buffy and Spike I knew would never end up together, as they should never have ended up together based on things that happened in the series. They are my first go-to when I ever think of like my favorite ships. They were like my first introduction into shipping and fandom. The Buffy fandom and the Charm fandom were like the first fandoms I feel like I belonged to. They were my ship, as well as Piper and Leo from Charmed. They were also like the first time I like really shipped a couple and I really wanted them to end up together. Piper and Leo were definitely not a doomed ship. They were endgame forever and ever. Sorry if that's a spoiler alert, but they have such a foundational relationship. Like, you saw it from the beginning, you saw them get married, you saw them have kids, you see them have marital problems, and I liked that ship as well. My current ship is Jasper and Eleanor from the Royals. If you haven't watched the show, it's complete trash, but it's trash that I'll gladly roll around in. It's like a fictionalized royal family. Eleanor is the princess, Jasper starts out as her bodyguard. That's like a trope I love when I'm reading, so of course I loved it in television, and they have like a really messy relationship as well, and they've been through their ups and downs, and I just love them. Vampire Diaries territory. My two biggest ships from that show were Catherine and Stefan, and obviously Klaus and Caroline. When I first started watching the show, because that show started when I was like a senior in high school, it was like Elena and Stefan all the way to the end of the earth. They were my endgame. But in the past, when I've rewatched it, I'm like really irritated how much Elena emotionally cheats on Stefan. I could do a whole video on the Vampire Diaries. I really could. The last one is peak doomed ship, because they will never happen, but that does not prevent me from shipping them anyway, and that is Daenerys and Jorah. I love Jorah. Jorah is my favorite character. I think he's so sexy. I would ship myself with Jorah. He's so far in the friend zone that he would get lost trying to get himself out, and I'm fine with that. I am fine with them always being friends. I just love how much he loves her and she doesn't. I'm like serious. Besides Sansa, Jorah is my next favorite character on Game of Thrones. I was like in a panic, heart attack mode every single episode. It was like such a roller coaster, especially during those last few episodes. I was like, my heart was beating so quickly because I was so concerned about what was happening to Jorah that I would forget what's happening in the scene. I guess he's like one of my favorite characters too. Question number 8 is show you could never get into. Orange is the New Black, Parks and Rec, and the last one is going to be The Big Bang Theory and how I just don't understand that show at all. I don't know why it's so popular. I don't think it's funny, and I'll just leave that at that. Question number 9 is a TV show that you fell out of love with. I have The Vampire Diaries. Even though I'm rewatching it, I fell out of love with it when I was first watching it. After they went to college, I just like was not invested in the storyline anymore. Another one is The Walking Dead. I got to the governor storyline before I just stopped watching it. It just wasn't as good as like the first season. Like that first season was amazing. The last one I want to mention is Sons of Anarchy. I love that show. I've seen the first like 4 seasons so many times, and I've tried to finish it so many times, but I just like can't get through it. This most recent time I tried rewatching it, I got to season 6 and I just like didn't like it. I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't like any of them anymore. I didn't like any of their motives. I didn't understand them, and then I just stopped watching it completely. I'd like to say I'd finished the series. Question is a TV show that was canceled too soon, Black Sails, and that is a pirate show on Starz. That made it up to 4 seasons. I think that show could have gone on for a very long time. It's like the rated R version of Pirates of the Caribbean. So all those things you like wanted to see in the Pirates movies are definitely in the Black Sails TV show. Highly recommend it. Last one I wanted to mention was The Secret Circle, and that was a CW show. And I recently watched the full season on Netflix, knowing that it only lasted 1 season and that it ended on a cliffhanger, but I still watched it and I couldn't even be mad at myself. I really liked that show. It should have been given a second chance. Question number 11 is guilty pleasures. I'm gonna put reality shows on this one. I can binge reality shows like no one's business, Project Runway, America's Next Top Model, and RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like saying guilty pleasure means they're bad TV when they're not, but to me a guilty pleasure is I can't stop watching it even if I wanted to. Question number 12 is currently watching. I just finished the recent season of The Royals over the holiday season. I'm currently doing The Vampire Diaries with my two friends, Riley and Kenya. We're buddy watching that. We are currently on season 3. I love watching it with them because we are always on the same brain wave with all of the ships, all of the characters. We all hate Damon, we all hate Elena, we all love Stefan and Catherine and Caroline. It's like rewatching the show with two other me's. So that's it for the TV tag. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below some of your favorite shows, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!